Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central and welcome to another Omened by HP video. Proud sponsors of the Overwatch League and also PC providers as you see on screen. This week stage 4 of the Overwatch League started, but most importantly it came with roll-locks, and today's video we're going over generally the biggest winners and losers I suppose, but basically looking at a snapshot of what the new meta may be. Just as a PSA, we are 2 days into this, players are still working out the best compositions, so what we see today might not be the new meta as such, it might not be massively concrete, but we are starting to see some patterns across some of the teams. Not everybody's played in roll-lock, so it's hard to say whether what we're going over today is going to be, final, gospel, so to speak. But I think it does give us some solid ideas on what is going to be popular and also some pretty big surprises, namely MEI, who we'll go over very shortly. I want to start by focusing on the tanks first, and the general winner when it comes to the main tank role at least is Orisa, who had the biggest pick rate, not only the main tanks, but out of everybody. She is the most popular main tank currently, with basically all of the teams running her at least in one iteration. She'd led the line in any form of bunker comp, double sniper, and was just the most popular hero as I mentioned. You can find any game over the past couple of days and you will no doubt see her. When it comes to the other main tanks, Winston was actually the second most popular, with around a pick rate of 16% according to Omnic Meta. He was used in various areas such as in dive, on control maps especially, but was also used on Temple of Anubis by some of the teams as you're seeing on screen, in places where Orisa was just not going to work. Wrecking Ball's pick rate was about the same, nothing really changed, and Reinhardt dropped to a 0.8% pick rate, absolutely nowhere to be seen. Some teams ran him, died, and then switched over to Orisa, so really, if you are a main tank player, this is definitely not going to change I don't think, but Orisa is definitely the option to go for, as we predicted like 6 weeks ago now. As we've gone over in various videos, the hero that follows Orisa around the most is Roadhog, who is the third most picked hero in the game over the past couple of days. Again, you can see exactly where he's been used for the most part alongside an Orisa in situations that we've gone over plenty of times, but the whole hook combo is something that's very important that we need to go over shortly. Where Roadhog wasn't used, D.Va was there in place. She was as popular as she was before, used in various situations alongside an Orisa, alongside a Winston and a Wrecking Ball. So it wasn't strictly a, oh yeah, she's used in X situations. You could sort of pick a couple of games and you'll find her no doubt. Coolmat, especially for Houston, was used quite a lot for his D.Va play. Zarya, down to a 1% pick rate. Reinhardt Zarya has definitely dropped out now that Goats is no longer a thing. If you're an off-tank player, Hog is definitely the pick to go for. The Halt Hook combination with Orisa is one of the best, really good for shield break, really good for getting picks in general. D.Va's still a good option, but just not as good right now. It's a very one-sided meta for the tanks, but for the supports, it's actually an incredible meta right now. The most popular support is Ana, who is the second most popular hero. Was popular before, so her pick rate hasn't changed too much, but it's definitely solidified her place in the game. She's good at long-range healing, being able to use her grenade aggressively and nano boost specific targets, but it's more about her healing output and utility that she can provide. It's the other support that is really running the reins of this meta, and that is Mercy, who is the fourth most popular hero over the past couple of days. That's because there is a rise of snipers, as we'll go over when we get to the defense slot. She can res targets that get picked by snipers, and she's just very versatile in being able to go with her team. If they're diving, she can pop along. If you're running Pharah, she can synergize there too, and is really good with Orisa Roadhog, as we've highlighted already. Damage boosting the Hog as he gets the shot in with his hook, or the Orisa just to get some damage break in an Orisa versus Orisa battle. They're the two most popular supports, and for the most part they will run together, but the other supports were used for their utility. Lucio actually was the third most popular support, but had a 40% less pick rate than in stage 3. With less goats and less tanks being taxied around, it means that Lucio's speed boost isn't as useful as it once was. but was still used quite a bit. Zenyatta was also picked alongside Mercy in some cases. Zenyatta Ana was also picked, but mostly Ana was in that spot. But Baptiste also had a really good running too. He was up around 10% in popularity, but not as popular as the other supports. But with Bunker being a thing, Baptiste of course synergizes really well with the invulnerability field, but even some teams were running Zenyatta Baptiste in some cases. The reason why I wanted to mention that is that you can interchange Ana Lucio, Mercy Lucio, Zenyatta Baptiste, Mercy Zenyatta, Mercy Baptiste. It's a really strong support meta where all of the options are very good in their specific situations. So if you are a support player, you can play any of them really if you wanted to copy what the pros are doing, but Ana Mercy is definitely the most inverted commas meta option that you could go for, but it's really nice to see other options used. Moira is just in a pretty naff position, not really used a lot. A Brigitta's fallen down to 50% pick rate, but I didn't really want to focus on that too much because this is the old Brigitta in 222 as opposed to the PTR version, so she's kind of just incapacitated right now. This is where it gets interesting with the DPS, specifically focusing on the most popular DPS in the game currently, for the pros at least, MEI. Why is MEI the most popular DPS option right now? And there's a multitude of reasons. First of which is she's very good self-surviving. She can use her ice block to heal herself up. She can use her wall to block coming damage. She's really good at just being able to sort of protect herself from snipers being able to one-shot her. She has 250 HP, so she has a good amount of health to be able to deal with shots coming in too. So in a personal state, she's very good at keeping herself alive in a meta where people could just die like that. She is of course very versatile with her wall. If you're on a very long map, she could use her wall to block incoming damage from snipers like Junkertown First Point, but she can also use the wall to get herself and her team onto high ground where an Orisa or Roadhog may not be able to get before. But one of the main reasons I suppose it would be is the CC that she provides to break the hook combos. As we mentioned, hook with Orisa Hog is very strong. MEI can not only block the Hulk combo, when she puts up a wall she breaks the hook if it's caught somebody, which is incredibly strong, being able to deny a hook kill coming in, but she can also use it aggressively like we're seeing on screen, being able to put the wall behind the enemy team, break them apart, they can't back off anywhere, and so you really do trap them in these areas. She's of course very good close range with her freeze, nobody really wants to take that 1v1, and if anybody tries to dive in a Orisa, Roadhog and a MEI, they're really going to struggle being able to break that apart. But another good reason is she has no damage fall off with her right click, meaning that she's very good close range, but she can also scare off a couple of snipers from a distance because her right click can just bonk them in the head and do a ton of damage, which is incredible considering when you look at it. Her ultimate's very good at clearing up a bunker or just protecting her own if there is an incoming dive, and there's just a multitude of reasons why MEI is really good right now. It's actually amazing that the Clockwork Vendetta composition has really pioneered where we're going with this meta. They ran Orisa, Roadhog, MEI, Torbjorn, but just switching out the Torbjorn for something else still works in that regard. So MEI is the most popular DPS, at least going off the past couple of days, and there's a good understanding as to why that's the case. But what about the other DPS to line up alongside? Well, if you're rating them from best to worst, the most popular out of those was Widowmaker, which comes as no surprise. Snipers are very good in this bunker comp meta, but also Hanzo was up there in pick rate, both of them going up at about 30% in total. Sombra is actually surprisingly still quite popular. Her popularity has halved since the last stage, but she's still quite popular considering I thought she'd drop off completely with no more goats. She was still used in examples as we're showing you on screen, being able to get picks. EMP is still of course very strong, meaning that Sombra with a MEI, Sombra with a sniper, still was a good option to go with if you weren't comfortable on a Widowmaker or a MEI or whatever. Tracer's pick rate increased around 10% alongside Genji, who rose a little bit, so dive is coming back in a pretty small fashion, maybe not as much as players were hoping for, but even heroes like Reaper have risen in popularity in areas like Control and Stall in Temple of Anubis. Pharah was still used by teams like Shanghai, but her pick rate has gone down about 30%, so she's not as good as she used to be. And what was more surprising, I suppose, in all of this is new McCree. He hasn't risen really at all, so all of the players that were saying that he's crazy, he's going to be really good in this new DPS 222 meta, it's kind of not happening, at least not at this point. The most meta lineup I think I saw a good portion of the time was Orisa Hog, because of course, and a Mercy as we highlighted before, and then stuff like MEI Widowmaker, MEI Sombra, as an example of the most popular composition used by the pros. Whether we use that ourselves in lower ranks, it's hard to say, but the whole point of this video was to give you a good indication of where the meta may be going based off the first couple of days of stage 4 with Rollock. We hope you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and thanks again for Omen by HP for helping support this video. We highlighted the Omen esports report, which is like their little sort of show that they have talking about CSGO, League of Legends, Smite, all the other esports games alongside the Overwatch League, of course. So if you haven't seen that, do check it out yourselves. Thanks again for watching, take care, we'll see you then.